What's going on, YouTube? It's seeing the place to be. Channel Train Mr. A&D. Better give you guys another Monday Night Raw review. And joining me on audio is not Deion Sanders of Primetime.
Yep.
So, welcome back, Primetime. We got another Monday Night Raw edition here. So, here's the thing. I know Prime didn't get you to see Raw last night, but I saw Raw. They had good matches. They had stuff going in the right direction. This was the go-home show to Extreme Rules. We got another White Rabbit clue, of something that's going on here. Which this one, I was like, it's making it obvious, and they tried to throw people off, and everybody was getting panicked, and I was just like, y'all need to calm down. Okay, calm down. But yeah, we got more White Rabbit stuff, but this show was heavy, and I will say heavy on damage control, and I'm just like, this is going to kind of mess up my picks for Extreme Rules, but we'll get all into that. So why don't we start off with the show here. It's a tag team matchup. Judgment Day taking on AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. Now Judgment Day comes out first. He comes to the ring, and then Finn Balor says he can't wait to make Edge say I quit, and then he said now this time when he does quit, he's going to quit for good, go back into retirement, stuff like that. Dominic tries to get the mic, and then of course they boo him, and then the crowd's chanting, "Who's your pappy?" And then he says, "Rey Mysterio is not my dad." I thought he was gonna be like Eddie Guerrero is, but he just says, "I hate my father." And I was just like, okay, well, it's whatever. AJ Styles interrupts this, and then Mysterio comes out, and then we start with a brawl, but then we get to the matchup. So the matchup was okay, but to be honest with you, it's like I know they're trying to drag the Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio to WrestleMania, but you got to kind of write Mysterio off, because right now he has faced every member of the Judgment Day and lost, other than Rhea Ripley, Balor, and Priest in multiple different ways. And it's, after a while, I start getting tired of the situation. AJ Styles is a new olive branch to bring in, obviously, but Rey Mysterio, I'm kind of tired of seeing it. So what happens in the match is, as AJ Styles is trying to go for a tag, Rey Mysterio is on the outside pleading with Dom, and Dom is on his knees like, "Come on, hit me, Dad, hit me." And then he turns around, Rhea Ripley hits him, which causes a distraction. Finn Balor hits the shotgun dropkick. Then hits
I feel like that happens every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, should I hit Rhea or should I hit Dom? And then he was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." And then Rhea just hits him. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
First of all, Rhea is like 2 times bigger than you anyway. So like, I don't know why you acting like you can't hit her. Okay.
I mean, some things I'm just like, bro, you can give her a 619. It'd be kind of all right. AJ gets shotgun dropkick, and then he gets coup de grace, and then Judge Day picks up the win here. After the matchup, Ray comes to check on AJ, and AJ was like, "Yo, what was that?" Like, he was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, I'm trying to deal with my son." AJ was pissed and pushed Rey Mysterio, and everybody was like, "Ooh." And Rey Mysterio was like, "Yo, I ain't taking this shit, man." So Rey Mysterio goes off and goes to the back, but then Judgment Day jumps AJ Styles and Finn Balor, talk about, "So we could have been friends, huh? Why are you making me do this?" And then he gets the South to Heaven choke slam and leaves him in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, did he flick them off last week?
Yeah. So obviously it's going to be an AJ Styles Finn Balor feud after the Edge one is done, which is kind of like a slight giveaway of what's going to be the outcome of the matchup here. Then we go, Kevin Patrick's in the back, and then Bobby Lashley comes in with his KG suit, and he says, "How do you feel about being United States champion for 3 months?" He was like, "It's been that long," but he says, he ain't gonna be complacent. He's gonna go around there and do what he gotta do for the title. And he says he goes out to people that he has beaten, from Seth and Roman and all them other people like that. And he says, "I'm looking for somebody with the same kind of grit as me." So behind him is Mustafa Ali. And he says, "Look, man, I got grit, I got tenacity, but I've been just waiting in the back. I'm tired of waiting. I want my shot." And then I was like, "Yeah, I see you have grit. You keep working at it, you get a shot." And he turns back and does the interview, but Mustafa Ali's like, "No, man, you ain't hearing me." He says, "No, I'm not done talking. He wants a shot at Bobby Lashley tonight." And he says, "All right, you want the shot, you got it." But think Mustafa Ali had the the Nipsey the Nipsey Hustle braids going on. I was just like, yo, that's Nip right there. That's what he looked like.
Yeah, he had the man. He's had the man for a while, but you wouldn't know it because he's been on main event.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? Yeah, because I don't watch that shit neither. They take a commercial break. Then after the break, we come back. Sami Zayn is backstage laughing with Jimmy Uso, and then
I seen this part actually.
Yeah, it's so cool. Jay like he walk up and say, "Yo, but what's so funny?" Like, yo, Jay is the shit.
First of all, the story Sami Zayn was telling wasn't funny, but you could tell like it's one of those stories that don't make sense, so it is funny.
You know what? I think he's trying to do like obviously it's a storyline going on, but he's trying to make them crack because he even Solo's in the back laughing. He's like, Jay is so serious. Like he got Jay a couple times, but he's like, I'm going to make them laugh on purpose when you're not supposed to laugh. And you know, Jimmy just going to laugh regardless. But he's like, I'm gonna make them laugh.
I think the thing is that Jimmy is like into it, and Solo, even though he's not into it all the way, we still laugh at the jokes. Like Jay is just like,
yeah. So
I feel like at one point, Sammy was going through the Don Cheeto, boom, looking for this. That's what I thought.
I would have died if he did that. You looking for this? No, that was a good one. I would have died if he did that. So as they're doing that, they run into the Street Profits. Got the New York Knicks gear on, and everything like that. And then he said,
"Can you tell me why?"
Say what?
Can you tell me why?
Well, because we're in New York tonight. Brooklyn, actually.
No, they're in Brooklyn next week.
Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, so were they in New York tonight?
I don't think so. I know they're in Brooklyn. I know they're in Brooklyn next week.
Okay, sure. So Brooklyn next week is for the season premiere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So why did they have the Knicks gear on?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Why are the Street Profits randomly just like, yeah, we want to fight you?
Well, no, bro, look, this is like walking up in the hood talking about some. Hey, yo, we let you know that Tribal Chief gonna be on there, and then he was just like, "Oh man, you got a lot of bass in your voice, fame, and gonna back that up if I put my foot in your ass."
I mean, technically, Montez is in the wrong because technically Roman runs both shows.
Yeah. And so the Usos, they both tag team champions, so they can both be
Yeah, so I'm saying technically they in the rank. So technically Montez need to shut up.
And then Soul says something talking about some. All right, why don't you try that on me? He's talking about some, say less, fam. So we're gonna have a match later on between Solo and Angelo Dawkins. Meanwhile, we got Bobby Lashley taking on Mustafa Ali. This match was meant to make Mustafa Ali like the bulldog, like he's never going to give up. There was one point where it's a non-title matchup. Lashley's dominating for the majority of it, but then Mustafa Ali comes out and hits like a tornado DDT on Lashley on the floor. And as Lashley's getting up, Mustafa Ali does a 450 right on Lashley's left arm. And I'm like, even though I know he's selling it, but if that could have gone wrong so many ways, you gotta be careful with shit like that. And then
I think only people that tendency to do that. Like, I think only people that can do that really is Ali and Ricochet probably. That can land like on the dot like that.
Yeah, like it's like spot on because that could go wrong so many ways. I'm glad it didn't obviously. And Bobby Lashley, and then now he's just like he gives him like the Dominator. He kicks out. He's like, yo, stay down. Ali hits him, slaps the shit out of him. He gets pissed, tosses him into both ring posts. So he slaps the shit out of Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley sitting there just like, all right, he gets another move. He runs to the ring post twice, and he like throws him over the barricade. It's like, yo, stay the fuck out there. Ali comes up, and then it's like right as the referee is about to say, he slides into the ring, and then he gives Bobby Lashley turns him inside out with a spear, puts him in the hurt lock, and he doesn't tap out. He just passes out. I don't know. This is going to be something for Mustafa Ali going forward, but I'm just like, okay, it's to get him on TV. As Bobby Lashley goes to go congratulate Ali, like, you fought. Seth Rollins comes out, beats up Bobby Lashley, gives him 2 curb stomps, one on the championship belt, and gives a curb stomp to Ali on the outside. This is setting up for him to sell us the fight pit, which you would need to because nobody on the main roster has seen the fight pit before.
Yeah, sure.
So it's kind of like we didn't remember when they used to do the promos for Elimination Chamber, like 2 miles of chain. 10 tons of steel. It kind of reminded me of that, without the over dramatics.
Yeah, without being so dramatic.
Yeah. So, Seth Rollins in the ring, and then Riddle comes out, and then they go face to face, and he's like, well, we have a no contact clause. So they just basically take personal shots at each other. He's talking about Riddle's family and his wife and how they get divorced and she don't want to see him. And then Riddle talks about, bro, when was the last time you won a championship, man? Roman made you pass out and you haven't been doing nothing. So, it kind of caused a fight. But then Daniel Cormier comes up on the screen. He's like, yo, we ain't going to have none of that right now, because I'm going to be the referee. And then he basically said, I'm going to see y'all in Philly. He goes over the rules with everybody and things like that, and how he is a fan of Seth Rollins, but he's not going to be biased. Because if y'all remember, if y'all go back and look at the WrestleMania 31, when Seth Rollins cashed in, he was like the hypest dude in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
He's a big fan.
What'd you say?
He's a big fan, an actual fan. Not
He's exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, I thought that was cool. And then Candice LeRae is walking backstage, and meanwhile, as she's walking backstage, she runs into Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka, and then we see like something is obviously over the screen. Then the QR code comes up, and it's obviously going into what the thing for the White Rabbit is. Now for this week's White Rabbit thing, the QR code, I didn't get a chance to, because I don't do the QR code, so I let everybody else on Twitter take care of all that. They had a couple of images, like there was like this, like one of them biblical type, Da Vinci type paintings that was right there. That's something that Wyatt had tweeted right after Alexa Bliss had turned on him at WrestleMania a couple years ago, and it had like a little code under it. And this code, or this little Morse code thing, was spelling out Gacy, and everybody was just like, "Oh my God, it's Joe Gacy!" I'm just like, people.
If it is, I will laugh heavily.
But there's no way. In this triple. If this was Vince, absolutely.
Honestly, I think it's more than one person. I think it's like a group at this point.
I mean, as I'm saying, could it be Joe Gacy with Bray Wyatt? Of course, but this is definitely Bray Wyatt.
Like Joe Gacy, Bray Wyatt, maybe even Corbin, because Corbin hasn't been on TV. And somebody
if Corbin has not been on TV, but if you went back to the White Wolf, the Lone Wolf Corbin, sure, but they had to like write the happy gimmick off. They really didn't write it off yet. So.
He did get on the limo. He got in the limo. He ran off with.
Yeah, but he went with JBL though. That's the thing. So JBL's not a dark character. If he's either going to come back as like the second coming of JBL, or even happier Corbin, or political Corbin, or something like that. It ain't gonna be a darker version if he went JBL.
We don't know. We don't know who we went with. We technically don't even know that's JBL. So.
We heard. Come on, Prime. You stretching that, because we heard the voice, we saw the limo. It's JBL. So, but there was more stuff that I unlocked that I did not really get to break down. So I'm sorry I can't break it down in this review for you guys. The Mrs. Bex.
I'm tired of the White Rabbit. It just shows for me. It's gonna show when it show up. I'm not looking at the more codes.
You wasn't looking at the codes in the first place.
I looked at the first
one,
the one, whatever the one was like 9/23. That's the one I looked at. It didn't happen there, so I was like, well, I'm gonna just wait till that happens.
It did. They gave us it led to another code. Right now I do agree that extending this past Extreme Rules will be kind of stupid. Yeah. I don't think they should go to Halloween. I think they should go to, even if y'all want to go past Extreme Rules and do the Raw, like the season premiere of Raw. But I do believe that this needs to be wrapped up like this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So. You got SmackDown is one more thing, so I would think that I don't know if they want to do something to go NXT. I'm not sure, but look, I'm just saying it's what needs to be done. So if y'all want to look up more White, they got it all over the internet right now. I don't have the full breakdown to you guys of all the code stuff like that. The Miz is talking on the phone to Marie. She's talking about Dexter Lumis thing, and meanwhile, as he's talking on the phone, you see Dexter Lumis creeping up the door behind him, and then somebody's trying to call Miz, and he told him to be quiet. Then when he goes back to the door is shut. Me personally, as much same thing, how you feel about the White Rabbit stuff, they gotta wrap this Dexter Lumis Miz shit up too.
Well, I'm pretty sure they will. I don't know when, because Dexter Lumis always like, how long did it take him? Even though this never happened, how long did it take him in like the Undisputed Era to feud? Didn't it take him a long time?
When did he feud with Undisputed Era? Oh no, okay, no. The feud with Undisputed Era, it made sense because it kept going. He had 4 members to deal with, and then
no. Oh, okay. Sorry, not that one. The one that started with he that shall not be named started with him, and then they were a group, and then they had to separate it because of he that should not be named. Had some happened to him, so then he had to deal with the Undisputed Era instead.
Oh, well, like I said, I don't necessarily know what. Like I said, it took a minute, but it wasn't just him focusing on just like right now he's just stalking the Miz. The question is, why is he stalking the Miz? You know, and then we don't have any questions to that. It's just stalking the Miz, and I'm like, okay, well, we need something more tangible than this, because it's kind of like when hiding right.
I bet it wouldn't have went this long to take it. That was Taker's wife. He was stalking. That was 2 weeks. I'm beating you up, but Sarah's pinning you.
Exactly, the end. But see, remember when Hiding Right was stalking Michael Cole?
Yeah.
And it was like all because he had a weird infatuation with him and he wanted to read him a poem. The payoff was terrible, but I'm just saying. But we got to it. This right now is just that he's stalking the Miz. He actually has gotten his hands on the Miz 3 different times, and he's just petting him like a dog. And I'm just like, when is enough enough? You know, we got to pay this off in a way. Like, I don't know if they're gonna do something horror related at Extreme Rules, or they're gonna pay it off at Halloween, or if they're going to do the whole way with Gargano and Candice and Dexter and, you know, Austin. I don't know what their plans are. But we go into Dakota Kai taking on Candice LeRae. So this matchup was pretty decent. Dakota Kai wins when Candice gets distracted by Bayley, and then she wins with a roll-up. So Candice loses, and then her husband's coming to the bag. And now, when he's walking backstage, he sees Dexter rubbing a unconscious Miz. And then he's like, what? And then he looks back, and the Dexter's gone. We just sees the Miz wake up with a picture in his hand. And the Miz runs off, and he's like, oh, Dexter. And I'm like, we got to do something to pay this off. Because right now, I'm actually getting bored seeing it. This is just me.
What you want, Dexter and Indy to be back on screen together?
That shit was kind of cool, but if that's the case, because right now Indy has been written off NXT. So has Santos in them, Miguel Del Fantasma. So I'm like, something. I understand. Triple H is doing rotation. He's 225. I understand that. I'm just saying, because right now it looks like it'd be different if the breadcrumbs pointed to the return of the way. But since you have Candice being the face and nobody really is reacted to because they really don't know her on the main roster like that. Johnny Gargano is the baby face. Austin Theory's the heel. Dexter Lumis is playing with the Miz, and Indy's nowhere to be found. There's no signs of even the way coming back. I would like for them to come back, but there's no indication of any of that right now. But
the only time you'll see the way is if you go to Johnny Gargano's Twitter. That's the only time you'll see them, because they always together.
Fair enough. Gargano versus Otis is the next matchup. This matchup was just basically a big man, little man competition here. It's kind of like, remember when Otis had that matchup against Ciampa back in NXT? And it was like, oh, this shows that Otis can really can really win a matchup. But they had a pretty solid matchup here. Gargano goes for was a suicida, as Marvin Audible used to say, and knocks Otis over, you know, the announce table. And then Gargano starts attacking Theory at the announce table. When he puts Otis back in there, hits him with a big DT on the floor, Otis kind of like gets up and kind of like shakes it off, kind of like a no sell, but a sell kind of way to show how powerful he is. Basically, when Gargano's getting back in the ring, Theory hits him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Otis hits him with the World's Strongest Slam and wins the matchup. So, Gargano and Candice LeRae both lose that matchup. But then Braun Strowman comes out. It's like an all-string thing. Braun Strowman comes out because him and Gable have a match. He comes down there and just chucks Otis, and he gets in the ring, And then now we're going to start this matchup between Gable and Strowman. When we come back from commercial break, we find out that Otis kind of interfered and tossed Braun Strowman over the announce table, which gave Chad Gable more of the advantage. But it didn't really mean anything because as he's trying to go for the moonsault, Strowman gets out the way. Gable lands on his feet. He comes right back with a big boot to the chest and nails him with a power bomb and wins the matchup. He seems like he's not doing the power slam anymore. He's doing the power bomb. And
I said he was gonna start doing the power bomb.
I like him doing it. Like you don't like him doing the power slam?
I think that even though it's the same move, I think he was having trouble getting people up from the power slam.
Yeah.
By the power bomb, he can kind of have more help because they can just fall like Kevin Nash style.
Oh, Kevin Nash kind of drops though.
Yeah, that's a better visual.
It is a better visual. I'm saying, but I mean, because Strowman's big, but I don't think Strowman's as strong as like a
That's why I think the power slam was kind of he was struggling getting people up. So I was like, okay,
yeah, he big.
At least with the power bomb, he can pick you up from if you're on the apron or something. He can pick you up from that way too. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the German suplex is nice too.
Yeah. Bianca Belair is about to walk to the ring for a contract signing. Bobby Lashley is being checked on. He was just like, "You want any comments about Seth Rollins?" He says, "Look, I'm going to squeeze his throat so I can stop, get rid of that little cackling laugh he does." So he wants to destroy Seth Rollins next week on the season premiere. So we're going to get that Seth Rollins taking on Bobby Lashley matchup. Meanwhile, we're in time for the contract signing. Bayley comes out, and then Bianca Belair comes out. Now, one thing people did miss, I didn't even scan this code. Corey Graves, on the back of the contract, he picks up the contract. There's a QR code on the back of the contract. If you pause the video, right there in the crowd, you can see that there's somebody that's planted in the crowd dressed like The Fiend. They weren't there before. They were there now. It's obvious Bray Wyatt, but the question is, I was just like, wow, that's kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was kind of reacting towards that because we were dealing with this contract signing, which after a while, because certain people that were there were, was like, Bayley feels different. Okay. I don't know about you personally, how you feel about it and the whole damage control thing. But, I enjoyed it when it first happened, but then they haven't been doing anything. They're really not a threat like I thought that they would be, in a way. Because it's the way they're being booked. Bayley was just running her mouth talking about how she only wanted to pin Bianca, and you KOD her on a ladder, gave her the idea, and she blah, blah, blah. But I was just like, yo, girl, shut up and just sign the contract. Like, just sign the fucking contract. She did that. And then Bianca was sitting there saying, you run your mouth because you have a chip on your shoulder, and you're sitting here talking about all the signs that say Bianca on them now, they used to say Bayley on them now. The question is, the reason why you like me is because I am who I am. You were trying to be something that you weren't. And now since they seeing the real you, they don't care for you. So Bayley was like, well, people that care about me is like the damage control thing, and then they show in the back that they were beating up Alexa Bliss and Asuka. As Bianca turns, now this part was crazy. Bayley yanks Bianca by her braid, like literally drags her across the table. She popped up. I was like, damn, you could have pulled that.
I did see that.
What'd you say?
I said I did see that. People was adding the get over here.
Yeah, I was like, that joke was crazy. I was like, damn. So she was beating her up, and then Bianca, meanwhile, was trying to get to the back to help out her. My fingers are up, friends. And then Bayley's still trying to beat her down, but then Bianca fights her off. She goes to the back. Asuka's leg she got pilmanized, and I'm like, do y'all got Asuka back there crying? Like she's back there whimpering. Because I understand, like I'm saying, but the Asuka character, she be cursing you out in Japanese, what I'm saying, opposed to whining. And then Alexa Bliss gets all serious, I guess, in the camera and talk about something. That's it. Io Sky, me and you tonight. I'm like, oh, God, another Alexa Bliss main event. I'm like, are you serious? There's no way this White Rabbit thing is not Bray Wyatt because I'm so sick and tired of Alexa Bliss main events. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, if it is, it is. Like I said, I don't. I at this point, I could care less. Just show up already.
Bro, look. Do I like
It's
going?
like,
Do I like going? Look. Do you like Marvel movies?
we're not talking about Marvel. We talk about.
No, I'm just saying. Look,
No, it's just like
I really
I
think
like it.
you don't
I
want to be
just
disappointed. That's what it is.
No, I like it. It's just now we're doing work. We are doing work. That's why. Well, if it's just like Easter egg on the screen or something in the background, yes. These people are going, scanning the QR code, going to Twitter, putting in the address of the QR code, putting that address in to see what cities pop up. People are doing too much work. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not even scanning the code.
I'm saying it ain't meant for us. There's a community out there though that loves doing this shit.
Yeah, so it's not like a Marvel movie where you can just freeze frame the trailer or whatever. This is different. That's probably why I'm like, all right. I'm just like, all right, whatever. If it happens, it happens. It don't have nothing to do with any disappointment. I'm just like, yeah, just happen already. Like that's why I'm in with the White Rabbit because all the codes, QR codes, people are like, oh, this happened. Okay, you know.
I'm just saying something needs to happen this week.
Yeah, maybe my anticipation just like I was into it the 9/23, and then maybe after that passed it just went away because I was like, maybe I just put all my energy into the early into the basket. So when 9/23 didn't happen, I'm just like, oh well, all
right. Solo Sikoa taking on Angelo Dawkins match. I thought this matchup was pretty good. You know, they had Sami Zayn and Jay and Jimmy out there. Every time Solo felt outside, Sam would try to check on him, and Jay was just like, hey, yo, man, that's my brother. I got him. Back up. So then, after a while, Sammy was just like, yo, man, he pulled Jay off Solo. They started arguing, and when they was arguing, Jimmy was trying to break them up, and then Angelo Dawkins did his dive over the top rope and took everybody out. Even though, and by the way, Montes had a boot on. I was just like, I don't know when he got injured, but he had a boot on. And as he takes the bloodline down, Sammy tries to yell at Dawkins, but Dawkins drops him, and Solo comes in, takes advantage, and hits him with a kick, and it hits him with the spinning Solo for the pin. So that was basically the matchup. Next week, Austin Theory said he wants to face Django Gargano, A-Town down. And then we have an Edge video who he doesn't get all intense. He don't have the hair to get intense. Edge is basically talking about, you know, him retiring and his little girls hearing his bones, you know, crack as you walk down the steps and how it's, you know.
They gonna hear that anyway. You about 45. They gonna hear that anyway.
Exactly. And he was talking about, you know, he was forced to retire, but this time, you know, he's not going to quit. There's nothing that they can physically do. Judgment Day is nothing Judgment Day can physically do to him that's going to make him say I quit. He was throwing so many innuendos in there. I was just like, yeah, wait till we do our Extreme Rules predictions. I got something for that. So, those are the things that he was talking about in that promo. Then we get this main event of Io Sky taking on Alexa Bliss. And my God, this is a boring main event because it's Alexa Bliss in the main event. I'm sorry, you know, I like Alexa Bliss, but I'm not the biggest fan of Alexa Bliss's like work to be in the main event. And besides, something is missing from Alexa Bliss since she has.
She's not that. If she was the goddess Alexa Bliss, then yeah, it'd probably be more entertaining because of her style. But this style is not it.
It's not at all. I'm just like, y'all gotta wrap this Fiend storyline up and then, you know, reboot Alexa Bliss a little bit. But Bianca Belair is out there, and then all of a sudden the thing start breaking down a little bit. Then here come Asuka hobbling down. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Alexa Bliss hits the twisting bliss, but then Bayley the trash referee again, and then Bianca takes care of Bayley, but then Io Sky hits Alexa Bliss with like a kick, then hits the moonsault for the win. Io Sky wins the matchup. After that, Damage Control comes in there and starts beating Bianca and Alexa Bliss down. Asuka comes hobbling to the ring. Like, look, she's just one leg hobbling to the ring with a kendo stick. So I was hitting Dakota Kai and Io Sky, but the numbers game just is just too much. They grab ladders, beat them down with ladders. Then Bayley grabs the Raw Women's Championship and goes pose with it at the top of the ladder while Damage Control holds their tag team titles. And that's how Raw show ends. They put a lot of emphasis on Damage Control and try to put a lot of heat on. They try to put a lot of heat to get them, more things. And the people really didn't care. Like they still was reacting for Bianca, but when it comes, Bayley's great, Dakota's great, Io's great. The group is not gelling right. And I don't know. And there's something I'm not calling it like, oh, Triple H, you failed, you suck. I'm not doing like how people would do it. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying you got to try everything you can. Throw something at the wall and see what sticks. This right now, Damage Control, is not sticking. It's kind of like how you felt when at the beginning. Like I was into the White Rabbit until 9/23, and I wasn't. I was into Damage Control after SummerSlam, and then I'm not no more.
I think it's because they also been facing the same issues. Like they haven't really fought anybody outside of Io and outside of Alexa,
Asuka and Bianca
and Bayley. So and Bianca. So maybe that's probably why. Because I've been hearing like the backstage segments and like just the crowd work and the work with the announcers and stuff. They've been doing good. But other than that, I haven't been hearing people complain about it. I've been hearing people like Damage Control. So.
There is a group on social media that are not Damage Control fans. I'm not saying it's a huge group, but I'm saying there are people that are not into Damage Control like that. Even some other people I listen to design Damage Control. I want to get into Damage Control. I'm gonna say something's missing. I'm not saying they got to break up. I'm not saying they got to change. I'm saying something has to change. I think we do got to kind of move away from this. I know that they're trying to stretch us to War Games. They have to be. But it's not like this. Like groups like Toxic Attraction, are they annoying? Yes, but they have something that just makes them them. Same thing with the Iconics. They have things that make them them. Are they're annoying? Are their promos annoying? Sure. But they have something that makes them them. When it comes to Damage Control, I was like, something's not working. Even with Sasha Banks and Naomi, even though there's no tag team division, they had something that makes it work as a team. Even the Four Horsewomen, even though they wasn't a legit team, but they still had something in there that made it work. Something about Damage Control is just I don't know. Like Dakota don't get no mic time. Io really is not great at English. I don't know how great she is at English. But remember, even Io's personality on NXT when she was dealing with Zoe Stark has been better than this Damage Control stuff. Even Io as a heel on NXT has been more interesting than her in Damage Control. Because it's like they went Io, they took her backwards opposed to going forward with Io Sky. And I'm just like, Io and Asuka could have had some crazy ass matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they want to say at least one of them. They're not a favorite view than like a special Raw or something.
Yeah, and then Dakota Kai, when Dakota Kai was doing the heel stuff, I ain't talking about when she was twitching and shit. I'm talking about when she was doing the heel stuff with Raquel Gonzalez or Rodriguez, however you want to call her. She was good, but now it's just. They're up there. Bayley's doing all the talking and the mic work, and then Bayley, she come wrestling like she not even ready to work. I'm like, dude, she been wearing this You Got Served clothes for like the past 2-3 months. I'm just like, hey, man, I ain't seen a Bayley wrestling clothes in a minute.
Yeah.
So, but
she's still gonna get her band back together, even though she's about to be in a lighter match.
Yeah. I personally give this Raw a thumbs in the middle this time. I'm not. I mean, it wasn't a thumbs down show, but they had good matches on there. But I'm not gonna keep giving it a thumbs up because Triple H is doing it. I'm just saying, but it was like more of a thumbs.
I have heard that too. That I heard this go home show was a thumbs in the middle, but they're still excited for the pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, I'm still excited for Extreme Rules. Like because the matches, and each match has a good story to it. It ain't just a random match just to be like, random match, here we go. Like, it ain't like Gargano versus Otis or Alpha Academy taking on such Kevin. Like, no, they in rotation, so I'm cool with that. I am really cool with that. So post any comments down below how you guys feel about Raw. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here, or wrestling content right here on NC Studios. Once again, it's NC and place to be. Chill, Mr. A&D, and not Deion Stairs or Primetime.
All right, y'all.
All right, and the Nerd Coalition is out.